It may not be as oh man, did you see that? Oh, something hit it hard. Catfishing has been tough today, and I come out here this morning to catch some bait. I had a really good time catching bait, so I just decided I'm going to make a brim video today. Have some fun cruising on back down towards the boat ramp here in the hatchery, flipping a black widow brim buster in here with a 2-inch peg float, little split shot and a #2 brim hook, and just a little bit of worm on it, tussling in these lily pads. But yeah, I had a good time this morning. I'll show you that footage now. Well, we got our first catfish of the day while bait fishing. It's a little white catfish. I pulled up on it and I was like, that ain't no white perch. Get a little fight on that brim buster. There he is on a brim hook. Tiny piece of red worm. Cool. Skunks off. So I'm sitting here bait fishing. I can't get them to hit this sabiki rig to save my life, but there seems to be a pile of them right here in these lily pads, and I'm popping them with the brim buster. It's one at a time, but it's effective and quick. So if that's how I gotta get my bait, that's how I gotta get my bait. They just don't like that sabiki rig today for whatever reason. I'm just taking a little piece of worm here. Well, I dropped that one. A little piece of worm, putting on that hook tip just like I would the sabiki rig, tossing it in, and before it even hits the bottom, they're on it. Except for when I try to film them, of course. They're down there thinking about it this time. They're like, I don't know if I want to be on Kevin's I don't know if I want to be on Kevin's video. I did not sign a release for this. I think that might be on to me because the worm piece keeps getting smaller. Oh, I might have one on the sabiki rig finally. Yep, they're hitting it over here. I'll sit there and let them load up. As soon as I set this brim buster down in the rod holder, it's gonna go down. But we'll reel up on this. Nope, yeah, they already stopped hitting the sabiki rig. Must be a little tiny one. Yep, the jig is up. And he said, you turned on that record button and we don't want nothing to do with you now. Oh, there he is. Ah. Now these aren't monster perch, but ooh, that's a bigger one. That's a brim. We'll take him too. That's good catfish bait. Now that's what I'm after right there. Big hand-sized perch. Oh yeah. That's good bait right there, baby. He knew where to go already. He said, no need to escort me, sir. I already know where I'm supposed to go. I swear, y'all, every time I turn on this camera, they stop hitting it. They know something's up. They don't like you guys. Ooh, that bit like a little brim right there. These perch don't play. These perch will nail it. The brim will suck it in and out several times before they commit. I caught that big perch just now on a whole worm. I think a half a worm would do though. Let's put a half of a worm on there. It's hot and muggy out here this morning. Boom, there he is. That's another brim. I told you that seemed like a brim bite down there. See, he was sniffing it. That went right under his chin. He didn't even get it in his mouth. I hooked him twice. Through the chin and out the top of the mouth. He wasn't going nowhere. Another half a worm on there. Brim, perch, don't matter. I'd rather have the perch. But we'll take whatever, since the bait fishing is a little slow this morning. Most of what I've been catching is perch. That was only the second brim right there. You saw both of them. There he is, biting it, nibbling it. That's a brim bite. I hope the perch hasn't moved out of this little spot. Ooh, Oh, that's a big whatever it is. The nice brim. Look at that. That's a nice brim. We'll let that one go. That's gonna be a copperhead brim one day. Bluegill, whatever you want to call it. That's eating right there. That's for people to eat. He got hit on the way down, and then he thought twice. That's definitely brim down there doing that. Need to find where the white perch went. Where the white perch at? There's one. Just over to the left. All right, we're just gonna get a few more of these. Then we're gonna get catfishing. It's already getting late. Like I said, I had a good time doing that this morning. So I figured I'd do some bait fishing here on the way back to the hill. We only caught, other than that catfish while bait fishing, we only caught one other catfish today. There he is. All right, guys, I got a fish on. Hit on this outside planer board. It's actually the first fish on this rod. Been dragging for quite a while, but we're just getting to the area that I figured fish would be in. We're getting to a shallow area. Been drifting in the 20s, 30s, and then now we're getting into the teens. And here in a minute, we'll get into some really shallow water. But this one's on. Doesn't feel like a huge fish right now. I feel a lot of rolls down there. But it'd be good to get the catfishing started. I know we call one bait fishing, but you know, I mean, that got the skunk off, but to me that doesn't really count. All right, got the planer board disengaged. Put that tension back on. It's got a little bit of weight to it. Sometimes it's hard to tell, you know, when you're dragging baits or when you're pulling, drifting or whatever, because oh, there he goes. He's starting to fight now, because you're pulling them with the boat, and sometimes the smaller ones they'll be dead weight. This one seems to be swimming a little bit now. Again, I don't think he's too big. He's definitely not a monster. Here he comes. About a 10-pounder. Maybe 10 pounds if I'm lucky. Oh. Came on that pink demon dragon. Everybody said that pink one is the fish love that pink one. That's the first one I've caught on the pink one. All right. He's in there. Yeah, he's about 5 pounds, not 10 pounds. I don't care. Fish to action. You know, a lot of people say, you know, why they don't even like to waste their time with these small ones. I mean, not like I have a choice. I got big baits on, other than a chicken. But you know, if the small fish hit, the small fish hit. And I just like catching fish. So I don't really care how big they are. The bigger ones are obviously a little more fun, especially this time of year. I'll take what I can get. That's a really good hook set. Nocturnal Nation hook, stuck her good. All right, guys, there's the first fish. First blue of the day. Second catfish. About a 5-pound eater. All right, we're gonna let her go. All right, we'll see you later. Cruising on down here slow with the trolling motor, trying to stay out of the sun. I get some red worms here, some Bill Dance red worms. Number 2 hook here, just a small split shot. I got my bait tank over here to the right on the boat. Got a little bit of breeze trying to blow me into the weeds here, but I'll just use the trolling motor to get out of that. Oh, there's one. Oh man, they bite so quick. These are just the perfect size for bait fish. See if we can't pop one right here beside the boat. We'll just wait for that bobber to go under. Ooh, That was really quick. Yeah, we're dealing with some really small ones. Those are probably even too small for bait. You can catch a whole bunch of stuff here. You can catch shiners, shell cracker, brim, white perch, catfish, bluegill, whatever likes worms. Caught a largemouth bass last week doing the same thing. There he is. Oh, we got him that time. That's a nice little bait fish there. I think that's a baby shell cracker. That's what it is. Baby shell cracker. Left me my worm. This is a 13-foot brim buster, and this is a telescoping pole, so it stores easy. I always keep 1 or 2 on the boat. You never know when you're gonna need a good brim buster. You can always come in here and just have a good time brim fishing on the way back. And I call it brim fishing. I know there's many different species of panfish. Like that was a shell cracker, but ooh. Little tiny nibble. We're gonna move on down here. I'm just throwing up under those lily pads. It's about 6 foot deep, and throwing right up next to this grass, and those fish will come out and get that little morsel of worm there. Sometimes it's really quick. Sometimes it'll go down right when you throw it in, and then sometimes they're just maybe they're too scared to come out, or maybe there's not anything there. I think it's July 7th, and it's hot. Oh man, it's hot. It is hot. And we had a little hotbed of bites back there, and nothing up here. I'm sure we'll get back on them here in a minute. Might be a gator down there chasing them away. This is really easy to use. I got a video on how to rig one of these. It's not too hard, but man, I tell you what, you take a kid out, or shoot, my wife loves fishing with brim busters. Just the thrill of seeing that little bobber going into the water gets everybody excited. And you know, when people have success at something, especially when they're new at it, if they have success right away, they're more likely to come back and try it again. You take somebody out that's new to fishing, start them out doing this. Do it from the bank. Usually in the summertime, any overhanging trees, you see any logs in the water. Most times the bigger panfish won't bite if they can see you. So if you get really clear water, you probably want to find them deep. The really big brim right now are deep. You might catch one here or there in the shallow water here, but most of the big ones have gone pretty deep. I caught a decent sized one this morning, you saw in the video, but I'm talking about monster panfish, slabs. You can even catch crappie in here. I haven't caught a crappie in here in a long time, but it's possible. But I tell you what, just like this morning, as soon as you turn the camera on, these fish get shy. It's nice just to hear nature, hear all the birds and the insects, the fish jumping. Might even see a gator here in a little bit once we get up in this creek a little bit more. But this is the old hatchery in Lake Moultrie. All right, here's a little white perch. Great bait. I tell you what, people, I threw everything at them today. Perch, chicken, bluegill. They didn't want any of it. I'm not even sure what that blue catfish hit on, because I was moving baits around so much. Thinking like about these perch, usually if there's one right here, there's a whole school of them. Watch me say that and then not get another hit. If you don't get one right away, just move the bait around a little bit. Sometimes they'll get spooked and they'll move off to the right or to the left. They're down there, trust me. Again, I made a statement that I think is factual, and the fish are trying to prove me wrong. Tell you what, if you want to stop catching fish, just get you a GoPro and start talking to it while you're fishing. Well, let's keep moving. No sense in sitting here and check your worm. I like to make sure that my worm, my hook doesn't have the tip showing. I don't think the perch mind as much, but I know the bluegill, the panfish, they're kind of hook shy, in my opinion, especially when they're bedding. Now these fish aren't bedding, but if you go look at one of my shell cracker videos, you'll hear me talk about that. You can throw a hook with a giant juicy worm on there with a little bit of hook tip showing, and they won't touch it. And you bring it in and cover that hook tip and the cork goes down immediately. Something a lot of people don't believe in until they see it firsthand. So I just like to keep it covered, because in this situation, you know, we could be, you know, throwing for a perch or throwing for a panfish or brim. You never know what's down there, especially in a habitat like this one. I like these little pockets back here. I like to try to throw up in those little pockets. Doesn't mean there's something in there all the time, obviously. I think I might try to deepen up a little bit. Get a little closer to the bottom, see what happens. Oh, got him. See, that was a unique bite right there. The fish came up and grabbed the worm from underneath the worm. And look at that pretty little bluegill. And the cork just laid flat. The bobber just laid flat instead of going under. A lot of times that happens with bedding fish, like shellcracker. They do the same exact thing. Where that weight is not pulling the bobber down. A lot of times people won't realize that, and the fish will end up swallowing the hook. The angler or the fish. As you can see, I'm just working with a tiny piece of worm here, keeping that hook tip covered. We're working up this channel here and probably getting the trolling motor clogged with weeds. But we can work through it. It'll chop them up. It's getting pretty late in the day. These fish probably are going deeper, and I'm just catching the youngins that can withstand the heat a little more. It's about 1 o'clock or later. 1 o'clock in South Carolina in July is pretty substantial heat. I'm gonna put me a big juicy worm on there. I hook it right in the center of the body. So it does dangle off the bottom end of the hook, which sometimes the small ones will just grab that and rip it off, and you'll end up missing them. But you can also entice a bigger fish to hit with a bigger piece of worm, and that's worth it. We may go fish the other side in just a minute. That's a yeah, same kind of nibbling bite. I wonder what that is. That might be a golden shiner bite like that. They're very hard to catch, very hard to hook. Great bait. And just like I said earlier, those fish will rip that back half of that worm off, and I think that's what he did, and he got full. I don't know if fish will stop when they get full or not. I know goldfish don't. I remember when I was a kid, my grandfather had a tank full of big goldfish, and I always wanted to feed them. Well, he made a mistake of not locking the fish food up, and I poured the whole jar in there, and they ate it all. Sometimes I like to jiggle it like that. I don't know if it works. My dad's always done it, trying to kind of entice the fish to bite. Kind of like ringing the dinner bell. This is just a beautiful place to fish all year round. Oh man, I didn't know he was on there. Holy cow. That was one of those instances where he came up from the bottom as the bait was sinking, and I thought I was on the bottom because the bobber laid flat. Had no clue. That was a decent bluegill right there. Let's see if he's still hungry. Let's see. There it goes. Oh, Lordy. Whatever that was, smashed it. He absolutely smashed it. That wasn't that big one again, I'll tell you that. Because he would have got hooked. Oh, he's hitting it again. Boom, got one. Yeah, that wasn't the same one, but that's the ones we're trying to keep today anyway. These little ones. Huh. Looks like there's a little school of them here. There's a nice pretty one. Nice one. Now, even though we use these for bait fish, you still have a creel limit. And on panfish in general, except for crappie and red breast. It's 30 per person per day. We probably won't go get all the way up to 30, but we don't need that many. See, right back in that spot, nothing yet. Like, I don't know, that worm has been eaten before. I don't know if I want to touch that. Let's move on. Man, you can get so distracted if you get in a good mess of bream. It's so fun to catch. Easy to do. Most places have these. You probably have panfish where you live. Oh, I just had a panfish go up and try to eat my cork. Look at him. He's trying to eat my bobber. He's sitting right there trying to eat it. That's crazy. I know you won't be able to see that. I could barely see it from here. There's one nibbling on it. Oh, he got it all too. He got it all, folks. I just put a fresh worm on there. Yeah, I use these bigger hooks, and you're probably saying, well, you probably get those smaller ones, you know, if you had smaller hooks. But man, if I get a big fish, they're gonna swallow that. And number two, that big hook holds that worm a lot better. My dad brought me up doing this. We catfish every once in a while, but this was it. This is what we did. April, May, we'd get on the shell cracker beds, and usually June, July, we'd fish deep for big copperhead bream. I guess what's really unique about this style of fishing is, again, everything likes worms. So you never know what you're gonna catch. It's a real mystery. You can pretty much count on a bream to bite, but you'll catch bass, catfish, perch, white and yellow perch, catch crappie, red breasts, mudfish, bowfin. You can also catch a hard time, but luckily there's no backlashing with a bream buster. You know, if you bust off, you can tie a hook on real quick, a little clinch knot. If you break your line off, you can just get you a 20-foot piece of line and tie on and be ready to go. I recommend 10 to 15 pound test. I know that seems like a lot, but if you get hung up in here, try to pull the snag out instead of breaking your line. Ooh, there's one. You will end up bending that gold hook instead. It's another nice little bream right there. He didn't get it on the inside of his mouth. He was just smelling it and he got too close. Tell you what, y'all, this is the most fun I've had all day. It may not be as oh man, did you see that? Oh, something hit it hard. That was more than likely a bass. Oh, and I missed him. That's what I'm saying. You never know what's down there. I know pulling in a bluegill is not as exciting as a big giant catfish, but man, oh man, that's exciting though. Get a hit like that, he stole my whole worm. I'm gonna turn off the trolling motor and see if I can get whatever that was to bite again. I only brought out one box of worms. Wasn't planning on doing this. Planning on tearing up the catfish. That's not what it was, but we'll take it. That's what we're after anyway. Oh, there we go. There we go. There's a, no, I thought he was a bigger one, but he's a good one. He's a good one. We like him. Look at him. I'm a bluegill hero. Ah. All right, guys. Well, it's that type of hot that you can't do anything. I can't think straight. I can't talk straight. The fish can't even bite the bait straight. So we're gonna head on in. But thanks for watching. Let me know if you like this kind of thing. If you like bream fishing videos, or you want to see more of that, or a combination of both, let me know. I know some of you say if you make it, we'll watch it. But I really want to know if you like it. Hit that thumbs up. Hit subscribe. Share it out to the world. And until next time, happy fishing.